Hey guys, Justin here. Just wanted to bring you a quick, or maybe not quick, but about a 10-minute video on my eXp journey. Now, my eXp journey is very typical of most agents that come to eXp, so there's not a lot of shockers in it, but there are at the same time. So let's just dive right in. So let's just dive right in. So you guys may have seen on my channel somewhere else, which don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the little bell button right there to be notified every time that we come out with a new video. But whether it was on this playlist or another playlist on YouTube, you may have come across my story before. But if not, I'm going to give you guys a quick 1-minute overview just in case you're just watching this section of my channel to learn more about eXp. So, my history, really straightforward. When I was 15 years old, which I guess would be roughly 2012, maybe I was 16, somewhere around there, my dad got into the real estate business. Mike Nelson still runs a very ultra successful team in the state of Colorado and several different states. He got into the business in 2012. Long story short, great father, great business leader, let me do a lot of things in his business when I was in high school. I got to learn the ropes. What the cool thing was is it wasn't me stepping into an established business that had been running for years. So I got to see the hard work, the grind, all the behind the scenes pieces that were having to be built to build a successful real estate company. So I did that throughout high school, got the chance to play college football, went and followed my passion of college football, did some engineering, and then ultimately ended up dropping out of college at 19 years old to pursue real estate. Ended up getting licensed when I was 19 years old, came back one summer, decided, I'm done with it all. Had a really successful first year. In my first 16 months, I did around $360,000 in GCI, right around $11 million in the northern Colorado market. Ended up growing into being the team lead of the team. Kind of when I took over, I don't know exactly where we were at. We're probably between 3 and 5 people total. My mom was a transaction coordinator. My dad had already had a buyer's agent for a year or two. And then when I came on, I was kind of like that second buyer's agent, and it was time to now grow. So my dad put me in charge of growing the team with him. We were trying to bring on as many agents as possible. I ended up opening with my dad an expansion site in southern Colorado, in Colorado Springs, about 2 hours south. I was in charge of that and running our northern Colorado operations as the team leader. Did that for about another year and a half, 2 years. And then I ended up transitioning in 2019 to living on the road full time. At the time I was with Keller Williams. I will never ever speak bad about Keller Williams. I absolutely loved their model for the person that I was. As I transitioned, you'll learn more about why the eXp model fit me better, but we'll talk more about that later in this video. So I got the opportunity to travel around in 2019 to a whole bunch of Keller Williams offices. And so as a part of that, I would travel to a city. I would get to then, speak with the team leader, and I would teach their entire market center. They would host a class for me, and I would teach social media. And that's where Sphere Rocket Social Media got launched. So if you guys haven't heard of Sphere Rocket Social Media, I do run a social media program that is a monthly subscription, and we ended up putting hundreds and hundreds of people into that program while I was teaching on the road each and every day of the year. And so that's kind of where that got started, and that's how I made my income. I was putting hundreds and hundreds of people into a social media program. I was making reoccurring income off of those programs and getting to do what I loved, which was helping people succeed in real estate through social media. So I think I ended up visiting 35 states, 135 locations, and absolutely loved it. That ended up leading me into what is now one of our biggest pieces of our business, which is Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants. So Sphere Rocket Social Media is what started everything, and then it ended up evolving into virtual assistants. Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants was founded out of the need of a lot of agents going, hey Justin, we know that you have virtual assistants in your business, we know that people are using them with your social media course, can you just give us virtual assistants that kind of come trained and prepped and ready and are just good quality people for $3 to $5 an hour? So that's where Sphere Rocket VA was founded. And I kind of skipped a piece there, that in between the transition of KW and eXp, that's when Sphere Rocket VA was kind of founded in the midst of all of that. And so I moved over to eXp, it would have been roughly June/July of 2019. So when I spent most of 2019 on the road with KW, it was really the end of 2018, most of 2019, and then ended up making the jump over to eXp. When I made the jump over to eXp, I still taught, still lived on the road. That was still something I was doing on a, pretty much daily basis. Now, I will tell you, I had been looking at eXp for probably a little over a year and a half since I had separated from my dad's team. So I had separated from my dad's team in late 2018. I stepped away officially, sold out my ownership shares and the pieces and parts that I had in our expansion sites, and then ended up moving on. And I was always, while I still stayed at KW for probably another 7-8 months, while I was obviously teaching on the road full time, eXp was always at the back of my mind. I had been shown the model for about a year or two. I had looked into it, but I had always kind of kept blinders on. I looked at it, but I really didn't internalize it. I didn't do research. I kind of self-sabotaged myself on not actually fully looking into it. Like once I flew out to Arizona to meet with who are my now sponsors and upline, and sat in a room with them and nodded my head, and I was like, yeah, I get it, I think this is a great model, but just never pulled the trigger for whatever reason. And it's one of my biggest regrets to this day, is not pulling the trigger sooner because of the model. And so just to kind of go over, we'll talk more about in future videos on this playlist, and if you guys are just watching this now after I've already seen a lot of them, you'll understand. But we're going to talk about all the different pieces of eXp, some that are my favorite and some that aren't my favorite, right? We're going to be very open and honest about the things I like and don't like about eXp. Now, I'll tell you, it's about a 98% weighted average to things that I like compared to the 2% of things that I don't like. But where is there ever a perfect brokerage? If anybody ever tells you there's a perfect brokerage, I think they're full of it, right? I'm just a very, non-bullshit type of guy. And so when it comes to eXp, one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to transition over into this world is I understood where the world was going when it came to being virtual, right? When I got to see their virtual eXp world and how they were holding meetings and how they were communicating virtually. I also at the time, a lot of people don't know this, I was investing in real estate property. I have the plans to invest in real estate property in several different states. And so the way that their cap structure was set up was very attractive to me, right? I had one cap. If I have my license in Colorado, which I do, and I have my license in Nashville, Tennessee, which I do, I'm only on one cap. So if I sell a home there this month, and I sell a home in Nashville, and I sell a home in Colorado, I'm still operating under one cap, one set of rules. I'm not having to have a $16,000 KW cap here, a $16,000 KW cap here. But if I want to go to a new state, I have another $16,000 cap, and it makes it harder for me to be able to invest that way. And so to be able to have that cap was a big thing for me. And then, I'm not going to lie, the people that were at eXp were some of my really, really close mentors, but I never had a chance to mentor with them, right? I had always, either in some form or fashion, my dad had paid some of them for coaching, and, I'd always been on some calls with them, but I had never had the chance to really work with them one-on-one. And, I was like, well, if I go to eXp, I'm not going to join your team right away, or how's that work? But I want to be able to be mentored by you. And the way that the model unfolded and the way that the model truly is I've gotten to now partner with people that are way further ahead of me, and they actually have a vested interest in my success. Again, we'll talk about that in future videos. That's what we call our upline. Those are, so I ended up picking Andrew Franklin, who was out of Houston, Texas, as my sponsor. Above him is Kevin Kaufman, and then above him is Fred Weaver. And those three people are highly, highly influential in my eXp journey. Because now, and if you guys know the model, they have vested interest in helping me succeed. Because when I sell more real estate, when I help more people come to the company, when I just do real estate activities, they make money. And so now they have a vested interest in my success. Not that they didn't have an interest in my success before, but now it's increased when they have financial gain attached to it. And the cool thing is I didn't have to join their teams. I didn't have to pay them splits if I didn't want to. I didn't have to do all of this. I could do this in partnership with them without all of those things. So it was a win-win. I will tell you to this day, that is still one of my favorite things. You know, Andrew out of Houston, whose team's going to sell 1,500 plus homes, you know, this year alone, I can call him on his cell phone and he's going to respond to me, right? People that are in my downline can call Andrew and he's going to respond to them, you know. And when I was at KW, you know, again, I love that model as well. It's a fit for some people, is I didn't have access to that type of power, those type of power players. And if I did get access to it, you know, through connections, they didn't have a vested interest in my success because they might have been in a different market, they might have been in a different state, and anything that I did wouldn't financially impact them. Now, this might sound all greedy, like, oh, people want to help you, Justin, if it doesn't financially impact them. Well, the reality is all of us are in business, right? We always get, you've probably gotten the agent before, maybe you are this agent, that are trying to get someone to shadow you, or they're trying to shadow you. The hardest part about that is that takes away time from you producing more income. And so while we all love to give back and mentor and things like that, there's a time when it kind of runs out and you're like, man, I just can't spend any more time on this. Well, when it came to eXp, I was able to get as much time as I possibly could from those partnered with me. And so we'll talk more about all the parts that I love about eXp, but this is an intro video. I wanted to make sure we had a starting ground, that you knew my story, where I'm at today. Now, kind of moving forward, what I do is my main focus is helping people get virtual assistants to help leverage their business. Then my focus is helping my eXp family as well. So Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants is a broker unbiased company. We're actually pretty split, pretty even among the three biggest brokerages in terms of our customer base. So we serve all customer bases. Our VAs have a ton of KW knowledge, have a ton of eXp knowledge, a ton of Remax knowledge, Compass knowledge, just a lot of those knowledge bases. And then I obviously focus a lot of my time on helping those that have partnered with me at eXp. So in a lot of these videos, you guys will hear that if you're not currently at eXp and you're looking for someone to partner with, I obviously have a mentorship program that includes not only mine, but all of those above me. So if you're looking obviously to tap into a power network of people that provide an insane amount of training and mentorship and all of that, obviously, you know, you have the opportunity to do that with me as well. So we'll mention those on future videos and how you can do that, which we'll start on this video. Down in the description, if you ever need to talk to me, whether it's now, 5 years from now, 20 years from now, there's a link in the description of the YouTube video that says Pick My Brain. If you are an unlicensed agent, unlicensed, so you haven't gotten your license yet, feel free to jump on my calendar. I have 15-minute time slots for you because your conversations are going to be more about getting your questions answered about what real estate is in general and helping you get your license / making sure you're taking the right steps to do that and putting together a game plan. Now, if you're already licensed and you're thinking about moving your business over to eXp, and you have some more in-depth questions, we have 45-minute time slots available for you because you have a lot of moving pieces, right? You have a lot of questions about what does eXp do here? What's it do there, right? It's not just surface level questions. You probably have 100+ questions to ask. Now, the other thing down below is there is a video by the guy named Brent, and we will talk more about him in future videos, but he has by far one of the best videos about what it means to be at eXp. It is basically the entire presentation of what eXp has to offer, no matter what your status is, what you like, what you don't like to do. It's got all of it in there. So there's also a video to that down below. So that's a great video to watch prior to jumping on a call with myself. Now, if you guys have any other questions about eXp, please put them in the comments. Please feel free to jump on my calendar. Please feel free just to reach out to us through any of the mediums that we've provided in the description below. And to be honest with you, I can't wait for you guys to go through the rest of these videos to learn all about eXp. Now, the disclaimer I put in there is that anything we talk about is not going to be a warrant of any type of claim or anything. Is we're going to talk about different numbers and things like that. And the other thing is we're going to obviously put the air quotes around as of the day of this recording. So as of the day of this recording is what the videos will be like, because sometimes things may change. Sometimes things might slightly alter, percentages or splits or different things like that. But as of the shooting of the videos is what we will talk about. So if you guys have any questions, please reach out. Super excited. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe again to this. And, while you're watching right now, our eXp playlist of all the eXp videos that I have, since most of my companies are unbroker biased and the social media company has all companies in it, and so does the Sphere Rocket VA. Make sure to go watch those videos as well, because a lot of that will talk more about the day-to-day sales aspect of your business and helping you grow that. So thanks for tuning in, guys, today, and we will see you in the next video.